I want y'all to check this out. Marvel and DC has said that they're going to do crossover comic books. And with that concept floating around, they're thinking about making a story with Batman and Deadpool. Have y'all lost y'all rabbit mind? What are we talking about right now? I'm not mad at a DC and a Marvel crossover because there's actually a few things that could be done with that concept. But Batman and Deadpool, I want to see Deadpool break the fourth wall and say all these corny jokes around Bruce Wayne, the man that's struggling with losing his parents to the point that he wants to whoop crimes every night, with Wade Wilson, a mutant who thinks that everything is a damn joke. Who was the who even considered putting Deadpool in a Batman story? The whole Batman ideology just doesn't fit with anything that Deadpool is about. This is like oil and water. The two just don't mix. Why would you even consider this? All of the characters that are a part of Marvel and the characters that are a part of DC, and the first thing that's thought about as a crossover is Batman and Deadpool. Are y'all crazy? I haven't really spoke about the Gunn-verse, James Gunn being the one that's spearheading all of the DC projects. I haven't even really spoken on that. Because if I give you a little bit of it right now, I'm not a big fan of that. How do we go from Christopher Nolan, one of the greatest Batman storytellers of all time, and we move over into James Gunn's version of DC? Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't James Gunn direct Guardians of the Galaxy, a Marvel project? I mean, just call me old-fashioned, but why are the two worlds even mixing in that way? Why would somebody that was a part of Marvel be in charge of DC now? Maybe I'm being silly. Maybe I'm being petty. If that's the case, then I'm just going to be petty. Because I don't want to see anybody that had any involvement with Marvel making decisions on DC projects. Because now there's a real scary possibility that we're going to see a Marvel-like style applied to DC. Why would that ever be good? Those two things have to always be separate. Yeah, it's cool to do crossover comic books. They've done them in the past. That's a nice touch for comic book readers. I'm not one of them. But when we talking about the big screen and making film, making history, I don't want to see any of that Marvel included in the DC universe. The DC universe is already questionable. I said that I'm a Batman fan. That goes to show you how great of a character Batman is, because he single-handedly held down DC since forever. I wasn't even a Marvel fan until recently. And I could argue the fact that the only reason that I'm a fan of Marvel now is because they've implemented things from Batman. Thanos is one of my favorite characters. And that's when the turning point happened for me becoming a Marvel fan, is the whole Thanos storyline, the Infinity Saga. If you're a real movie watcher like myself, a true fan, there's no way you're going to sit here and look me in the face and tell me that Thanos didn't have inspiration from Tom Hardy's version of Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. It's just no way that you could tell me there's no similarity there. Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy and Thanos, in the first Guardian of the Galaxy, with James Gunn being the director, we saw a version of Thanos that's not the version of Thanos that we got in Infinity War. I wonder why. It's because it was a weird version of Thanos. It was brief, but it wasn't the Thanos that we all know and love. And now this same individual, James Gunn, is going to make decisions for all of the Batman movies moving forward. Is he one of these assholes that sat here and agreed to this Deadpool crossover? Because if he did, then point proven. Please get away from the Batman project. Why come Matt Reeves just can't spearhead the entire Batman movement moving forward. Because I'm very perceptive. And for me, it's quite obvious that it's something going on behind the scenes with Matt Reeves and James Gunn. Because why is it all this Batman talk when we haven't even gotten the Batman Part 2 from Matt Reeves? How are we talking about all of these future Batman projects right now? We're in the middle, like we're literally in the middle of telling a Batman story right now. That's a red flag on the plate right there. So many people all caught up with these weird DC projects. The new Superman movie out the blue. Even though the Man of Steel was probably one of the best Superman movies. And I felt like they didn't finish exploring that properly. And now we got this weird Superman movie just out of nowhere. Like my last video when I talked about Spider-Man Brand New Day. What the hell are y'all about to do with these movies? What are y'all thinking about? Like, I'm really concerned. Now, I know I'm kind of getting off the point, but back to the point, Batman and Deadpool, what's the story that you could tell with that? The last time I checked, the Batman has one of the greatest villains of all time in the Joker. Somebody who's actually funny, not just some over-the-top raunchy comedy. The Joker is actually a great character that has great lines and a great philosophy. Why would I ever want to see Deadpool in the environment with the Batman? Me personally, I think that if Marvel was going to do any type of a crossover, the most realistic crossover that you could do with DC and Marvel as it pertains to Batman is the Punisher. Like, this is the most realistic thing that you could do. Two guys that are actually men, not aliens, not mutants, or whatever the hell else. Two guys that are kind of similar, but have different philosophies. Both guys have a dark past. Both guys play little to no games. Both guys are highly skilled and highly trained and highly intelligent. I think it'll be a cool concept to have the Punisher hunt down Batman for whatever reason. And to see how this character from Marvel that doesn't even technically have a superpower, how he's able to get the best of Batman at times. And the interactions between the Punisher and the Daredevil, just in that show alone, shows me that Batman versus the Punisher would be an excellent story to tell. Batman versus Deadpool. Y'all crazy, man. But anyway, I'm Southside Tre. Make sure you subscribe to Full-Time Digital House on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, Southside_Tre. Appreciate y'all. Catch you on the next one.